Hey y'all, today on the farm we're finally gonna harvest the wheat. We are gonna be gathering the wheat with a Case IH 7240. Tell me what you're looking for, Willie.
We're looking for seeds on the ground. See how many we got.
I think I see one. Is that one hiding on there?
Yeah,
There's one hiding on there, a little tiny one.
There's a few. There ain't a lot though.
So when you're running a combine or a peanut picker or any harvesting operation, you gotta make fine-tune adjustments. You gotta run a little ways, get out, walk behind it, see what's coming out the back of the machine, and you gotta fine-tune it, adjust it, try to get it where you're not running material out the back of the machine, but you're also not grinding it up, or there's a lot of different things you could do to make the harvest not go efficient. So you always gotta see how the harvest is going and keep a check on it out the back of the machine and see what's coming in and what's going out. So the dry yield bushel weight right now has dropped down to 80, 86, 79. It was hitting 94 back there a little ways. So all y'all that put in your guess on the bushels per acre, had a lot of 40s out there, a lot of 40s and 50s. Bumping 70s, 80s, and a 90 every now and then going across here. But we got to do the entire field and put it on the truck, send it down the road, run across the scales, and then we will have an accurate measurement of what the yield actually is.
They were saying 40s.
40s.
Out here?
I had somebody say 35.
Good Lord.
That's insurance weed in South Georgia.
That's solid. That's what you want right there.
What's the best wheat you ever cut?
My wheat or somebody else?
Just the best wheat you've ever harvested.
Adam Steele had some pretty good wheat a few years ago.
Think he averaged 90 on the field?
It was a small field.
Small field?
Yeah, it wasn't like 15 or 20 acres, but it was, yeah, probably so.
I believe we did 80 last year on mine, dry land down there. It didn't look as good as this wheat looks.
This wheat.
I got a little bit done fell down out there.
Dang, it's just right there.
Yeah, a little wind ripple through the carrier. So this is a low spot through the field where water carries through, so that wheat was a little bit healthier, a little bit more grain on it, and so it got heavy and it just fell over in that low wet spot. What I'm about to tell you is the single most important piece of information you've ever heard on any YouTube farming video ever made. My channel, any other channel, all channels included. The most important farming information you've ever heard, ever. So listen up. You've got to know your numbers, not the bank's numbers. The bank gives me a little printout here, and they tell me what they think it's gonna cost to grow my crop on my field, my inputs, and what they think I'm gonna get paid and what they think I'm gonna yield, and they estimate what all that's gonna come out to and what they think I'm gonna make or what they think I'm gonna lose money-wise. You have to know their numbers, but you also have to know your numbers. You gotta beat their numbers. You gotta do everything you can in every task all throughout the year to make sure you're growing your crop cheaper than what they say you can grow it. You're making more bushels or pounds or tons than what they say you can make, and you're selling it for a higher cost, if possible, than what they say you can sell it for. If you don't know your numbers and you're not keeping up with it, you may wind up spending too much money because they've given you the printout. They've told you, hey, if you want to make X or if you want to break even, this is what we're figuring it's going to cost you to grow this crop. You got to keep up with it and make sure you don't cross that line. You don't put too much in the crop so that there's no way that you can get back out of the crop. The bank did their math on me making 65 bushels per acre. However, the combine's bumping 90 bushels per acre in the back of the field. It's bumping 75 and 80 through most of the field, and in one area we've seen it get as low as 65. Nowhere else has it been that low. So I beat the bank on the yield. The bank also figured me spending a lot more money on fertilizer and a lot more money on chemicals. Two ways I beat the bank and put profit in this field was this wheat was planted behind peanuts. The peanut vines that I incorporated to the field were the fertilizer. So I did buy some fertilizer later on, but the majority of the fertilizer that went into this field was the peanut vines themselves. So it was the residue, the high nitrogen residue of the peanuts that was incorporated into this field. That served as my fertilizer, so I didn't have to spend money on that fertilizer. It was free. All I had to do was incorporate it. The other thing was chemicals. Now, I sprayed nothing on this wheat. This wheat's never been sprayed with anything whatsoever. I tilled though, so I had tillage costs. The bank didn't have a tillage cost, but it had a chemical cost. My tillage cost was far less than chemical cost. The tillage allowed me to not use chemicals. I tilled in the peanut vines, incorporated them, and did away with anything that was living out here. And then I planted my wheat at a very, very thick rate. When it came up, it would choke out anything growing out here because it was too thick for anything else to come up. The wheat was a cover, so it kept anything from coming up. So I had no chemical cost in this field. The bank also figured I was gonna have to buy seed. That's where I really got them. All this wheat that I planted out here came off a seed that I saved from last year's crop. Last year's crop, I sold enough wheat out of the field to break even. Enough wheat to pay my bills, come out of the field, and then I put all the profit, the extra wheat, in the bin. When it got time to plant this wheat, I just took some of that profit out of the bin and put it in the ground. So my wheat seed was free. Somehow or another, the Lord has found a way. Well, I reckon it's not an issue at all for the Lord, but somehow or another I've been blessed with a profit on that field for whatever reason. And so what that allows me to do now is I can double crop that field. I can put soybeans. Soybeans currently are not profitable. They're right on the line of not profitable at all and break even. But that figure includes paying land rent. But the wheat has made a profit. So the wheat has already paid the rent on the land. So now I have free land. I have land with no rent due because the previous crop has already paid it. So that makes the soybeans profitable because I don't have to deduct land rent from the profit margins in the soybeans. So I got free land to put some beans in the dirt, grow them at a discount the same way I grew this wheat at a discount, and see if I can beat the bank twice in 1 year. I thank all of y'all for watching. I hope you found this informative, and I hope to see you next time.